I stared at my phone screen, reading the email for the fifth time. My hands were shaking. $400,000. They were planning to spend $400,000 of my trust fund on my brother's wedding. My name is Rosalie, and I'm 27 years old. I've never been allowed to touch a cent of the $1.2 million my grandmother left me for my future. Not for college, not for my first apartment, not even for the small graphic design business I tried to start last year. It's for your own protection, sweetheart, Mom had said then, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her wine glass. You're just not ready for that kind of responsibility. The same week she'd denied my request for a $10,000 business loan, she'd written a check for $80,000 to cover Bryce's failed cryptocurrency venture. Hey, Rose! Speaking of the golden child, my brother's voice boomed through the house. I quickly locked my phone and plastered on a smile as he bounded into the kitchen. Where is everyone? Dad's in his study. Mom's at yoga. I watched him raid the fridge, grabbing leftover lasagna. How's the wedding planning going? Amazing! He grinned, showing perfectly whitened teeth. Layla found this incredible venue in Santorini. You should see it, Rosie. Private beach, infinity pool, room for 200 guests. My stomach churned. Now I knew how they were planning to pay for it. Sounds expensive, I said carefully. Oh, Mom and Dad are handling all that. He waved dismissively. Hey, did I tell you about my new startup idea? It's gonna be huge. Like, Silicon Valley huge. I thought about the graphic design portfolio collecting dust on my laptop. The clients I'd had to turn away because I couldn't afford proper equipment. The tiny studio apartment I shared with a roommate because my parents insisted I wasn't mature enough to handle my own place. That's great, Bryce. My voice sounded hollow, even to my own ears. Miss Rosalie? Maria, our housekeeper, appeared in the doorway. Your mother asked me to remind you about dinner with the Wilsons tonight. Right. Another evening of watching Mom parade Bryce's latest ventures while subtly highlighting my supposed shortcomings. Thanks, Maria. I grabbed my bag. I should go get ready. Oh, and Layla's coming, Bryce called after me. She wants to talk about bridesmaid dresses. I climbed the stairs to my old bedroom, the one I still had to use during family dinners because moving out completely would be financially irresponsible. The walls were still pink from when I was 16. Mum had refused to let me paint them. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend Zella. How's the family dinner prep going? I typed back. The usual. Being infantilized while Bryce plans to spend half my trust fund on his destination wedding. What? 3 angry face emojis followed. Found an email Mom forwarded to the wedding planner by mistake. They're taking $400,000 for the celebration of the century. That's your money, from your grandmother. WTF. I sat on the bed, remembering the last conversation I'd had with Grandma Eliana before she passed. She'd squeezed my hand, her eyes sharp despite her illness. Don't let them make you small, she'd said. Promise me, Rosalie. But that's exactly what I'd let them do, year after year, decision after decision. My phone buzzed again. A group text from Mum. Dinner at 7. Wear something nice. The Wilsons' son Justin is coming. He's single. Another matchmaking attempt. Another way to control my life. I opened my laptop and pulled up my bank account. The same depressing numbers stared back at me. Despite working full-time as a graphic designer, I barely had enough saved for 2 months' rent. Every attempt at independence had been subtly undermined or outright blocked. For your own good, sweetheart. When you're ready. I opened the email again, my finger hovering over the forward button. The wedding planner's detailed proposal laid it all out. The venue, the flowers, the week-long celebration. My future, carved up and served on a silver platter to my brother and his Instagram-obsessed fiancé. Something snapped inside me. A quiet, cold fury I'd never allowed myself to feel before. I opened a new tab and typed, "Trust fund litigation lawyers near me." Grandma's words echoed in my head. "Don't let them make you small." I hit enter. "I won't," I whispered to the empty room. "Not anymore." "So, Rosalie, what are your thoughts on investment strategies?" Mr. Peters, our family's financial advisor, smiled at me from across his mahogany desk. I returned his smile, sweet and clueless, the role I'd been playing for years. "Oh, I'm just trying to learn. Mom suggested I should start taking an interest in these things." "Wonderful initiative." He shuffled some papers. "Your mother mentioned you've been asking about the trust fund management. Just curious about how it all works." I glanced at the folders on his desk, spotting my name on one of them. "It's a lot of responsibility." "Indeed. Your parents have done an excellent job protecting your interests." He patted the folder. "Would you like to review some of the basic principles?" "That would be great." I leaned forward, maintaining my eager-to-learn expression. As he walked me through various documents, I snapped mental photographs of every detail. Withdrawal dates, account numbers, signatures, including several that looked suspiciously like attempts at copying my handwriting. "What about this transfer from March?" I pointed at a line item. "The one for $80,000? Yes. That was—" He frowned, checking his notes. "A real estate investment opportunity, Bryce's crypto venture." I'd seen him brag about it on LinkedIn. My phone buzzed. A text from Zella. "Done with the financial spy mission yet? Coffee after?" I wrapped up the meeting with more vapid smiles and thank yous, then met Zella at our usual cafe. "Well?" She stirred her latte aggressively. "How bad is it?" "They've spent almost half of it." I showed her the notes I'd taken. "And there are at least 6 withdrawals with forged signatures." "Holy shit, Rose." She grabbed my phone, zooming in on the photos. "This is straight-up fraud." "I know." I took a sip of my Americano. "And now they're planning to drop $400K on Bryce's wedding." "Please tell me you're finally going to do something about this." My phone chimed. "Mom, dinner at the house tonight. Bryce has exciting news." "I have an appointment tomorrow," I said quietly. "With a lawyer." Zella nearly knocked over her coffee. "For real? You're really doing it?" "I have to. They'll burn through everything at this rate." I showed her another text that had just come in, from Layla, Bryce's fiancée. "Can't wait to show you the wedding mood boards. Think Gatsby meets Mediterranean royalty." The next day, I sat in Samuel Franklin's office, surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown. He reviewed my documents in silence, his expression growing darker with each page. "Let me be clear," he said finally. "Your parents have been systematically misappropriating funds from a trust that was explicitly set up for you." "Yes." "And they've forged your signature multiple times to authorize these withdrawals." "Yes." "While simultaneously denying you access to funds for education, business ventures, or housing." "That's correct." He leaned back, studying me. "Why now? What changed?" I pulled up the wedding planner's email on my phone and handed it to him. His eyebrows shot up as he read. $400,000? For a wedding?" He shook his head. "For your brother, not you. They call it protecting me." My voice was steady. "Every time I ask for anything, tuition, rent, business supplies, they say I'm not ready, not mature enough. Meanwhile, Bryce burns through hundreds of thousands on failed ventures, and they call it entrepreneurial spirit." Samuel placed my phone down carefully. "Your case might just destroy them, if you're ready." "What do you mean?" "This level of financial misconduct? The forged signatures alone." He started making notes. "We could pursue criminal charges. They could face serious legal consequences." My stomach tightened. "I don't want them in jail. I just want what's mine." "Then we go after the money. All of it. including what they've already spent. He looked up. But understand this, it will change everything. Family relationships rarely survive this kind of litigation. I thought about years of gaslighting, of watching Bryce get everything while I begged for scraps, of Mum's constant subtle digs and Dad's passive enabling. "What do you need from me?" I asked. "For now, act normal. Don't let them suspect anything." He started outlining a plan. "We'll need to document everything, every conversation, every email, every financial decision. Can you do that?" I thought of Grandma Eliana again, of her warning, of her trust in me. "Yes," I said, "I can do that." "Good." He handed me his card. "Because once we start this, there's no going back." I left his office feeling lighter than I had in years. My phone buzzed with another text from Mom. "Don't forget, dinner tonight. Wear the blue dress. It makes you look less pale." I smiled. For once, I knew exactly what I was going to do. "Mom, I found this perfect condo," I said, spreading the listing photos across their kitchen island. "It's close to work, great neighborhood, and the price is reasonable. I just need a small withdrawal from the trust." "Oh, sweetheart." Mom's patronizing smile appeared right on cue. "We've talked about this. Property ownership is a huge responsibility. I'm 27. And still learning about financial management." She patted my hand. "Besides, the market is so volatile right now." My phone pinged. Bryce's latest Instagram post. "Big moves in the crypto space. Thanks for believing in the vision, fam. Blessed entrepreneur life." I watched Mum's face light up as she checked her own phone. "Did you see your brother's post? He's so driven. The new startup is really taking off." Another $100,000 of my trust fund gone. I'd seen the transfer documents in Samuel's office yesterday. "How much did you invest in his new venture?" I asked carefully, recording the conversation on my phone in my pocket. "Just a little seed money." She waved dismissively. "Sometimes you have to take risks for real returns, like the returns on his last 3 failed businesses." My phone buzzed again. A text from Samuel. "Documents ready for review. Come by the office when you can." "I should go," I said, gathering the condo listings. "Work deadline." "Wait," Mom called after me. "We're having a small engagement dinner for Bryce and Layla next weekend. Black tie. I've already told everyone you'll help with the arrangements." Of course she had. At Samuel's office, I reviewed the growing stack of evidence. Bank statements, forged documents, text messages, recorded conversations. "They transferred another 100,000 to your brother's crypto venture last week," Samuel said, highlighting the transaction. "No pretense of getting your approval this time. They're getting sloppy. They're getting confident." He leaned back. "How's the wedding planning going?" "Extravagant." I pulled up Layla's latest Pinterest board. "They've added a second venue in Athens for the rehearsal dinner." "All with your money." He made another note. "How are you holding up?" I thought about the conversation with Mom that morning, about the condo I couldn't buy, about Bryce's endless stream of funding. "I keep thinking about my grandmother," I said, "about the last time I saw her." "Tell me." She knew about all of it. I pulled out an old photo from my wallet, Grandma Eliana and me, on her back porch. She tried to warn me years ago. "What did she say?" "She said," I swallowed hard. "She said, they'll try to make you doubt yourself. They'll call it love, call it protection. But control isn't love, Rosalie." Samuel nodded slowly. Smart woman. My phone chimed. A group text from Layla. "Wedding planning brunch tomorrow. Rosalie, bring those design skills, thinking custom monograms for everything." "Keep documenting everything," Samuel said. "We're almost ready." The next day, I sat through 3 hours of wedding planning, watching Layla and Mom gush over five-figure floral arrangements and custom-built dance floors. I smiled, took notes, and recorded everything. "Oh, and Rosalie," Layla chirped. "I was thinking you could design all the stationery. You're so good with that computer stuff." "For free, of course," Mom added with a meaningful look. "For family." My phone buzzed. A notification from my bank. Rent payment declined. I was overdrawn again. That evening, I met Zella at our usual spot. "Look at this." I showed her Bryce's latest post. Him and Layla, posing in front of a private jet. Headed to Greece for venue scouting, while you can't even get money for rent. She shook her head. "When are you dropping the hammer?" "Soon." I showed her the latest documents from Samuel. "We're just waiting for one more thing." "What?" "Proof they're using the trust for the wedding." I stirred my coffee. "Once they make the first venue payment, we move. And then? And then it all burns down." My phone lit up with a text from Dad. "Your mother says you seemed distant at brunch. Remember, we only want what's best for you." I thought about Grandma's words again. About control disguised as love. About years of being made small. Another notification popped up. An email from the wedding planner to Mom, accidentally CC'd to my old family email address. "First venue deposit processed. 100K transferred as discussed. Santorini is officially booked." I forwarded it to Samuel with 2 words. "It's time." He responded immediately. "Come in first thing tomorrow. We file by noon." I looked at Zella, my hands steady for the first time in weeks. "It's happening." She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Give them hell." The roast smelled perfect as Mom pulled it from the oven. Sunday dinner, our weekly family tradition. Usually I dreaded these gatherings, but tonight was different. "Rosalie, darling, set the good china," Mum called out. "The wedding planner's joining us to discuss the Santorini plans." I placed each plate with careful precision, checking my phone. A text from Samuel. "In position, 10 minutes." "The flowers arrived!" Layla burst into the dining room, brandishing a massive arrangement. "Aren't they divine? Just a sample of what we're doing for the wedding." "They're gorgeous, honey," Mom cooed. "And such a bargain at only $12,000. I kept my face neutral as I arranged the silverware. Another text buzzed. 5 minutes. Ready?" "Yes," I typed back. "Bryce, open the champagne." Mom gestured to the expensive bottle on the counter. "We're celebrating." My brother grinned, popping the cork with his usual flourish. "To the wedding of the century." Everyone gathered around the table. Mom, Dad, Bryce, Layla, and the wedding planner, Amanda, who was already deep into discussing table settings. "The custom crystal centerpieces alone will set the tone," Amanda gushed. "And with the budget we're working with, we can really create magic." The doorbell rang. "That's odd," Mom frowned. "Are we expecting anyone else?" "I'll get it," I said, standing up. No, sit down. Maria will answer it." But Maria had the night off. I'd made sure of that. The doorbell rang again. "I insist," I said, already moving toward the foyer. "Don't let the roast get cold." I opened the door to find Samuel, impeccable in his suit, holding a leather briefcase. "Right on time," I whispered. He nodded, following me to the dining room. "Mom, Dad," I said clearly. "This is Samuel Franklin, my lawyer." The champagne glass slipped from Bryce's hand, shattering on the hardwood floor. "You're... what?" Mom's face went pale. "Mrs. and Mr. Henderson." Samuel stepped forward, opening his briefcase. "I'm here to serve you with legal documents regarding the misappropriation of funds from the Eliana Henderson Trust, established for the sole benefit of Rosalie Henderson." "What is this?" Dad stood up, his face reddening. "Rosalie, what are you doing?" "What I should have done years ago." My voice was steady. You're being sued for breach of fiduciary duty, financial fraud, and multiple counts of forgery. This is ridiculous! Mom's voice rose to a shriek. We're your parents. Everything we've done has been to protect you, Samuel continued, placing documents in front of each of my parents. You are hereby notified that an emergency injunction has been filed to freeze all trust assets, pending investigation of unauthorized withdrawals totaling approximately $600,000. Rosie, Bryce started, his charm kicking in. Come on, sis. We can talk about this. The latest unauthorized withdrawal, I cut him off, was $100,000 for your wedding venue in Santorini, paid 3 days ago. Amanda, the wedding planner, slowly started gathering her papers. I should probably go. You forged my signature, I said, looking directly at Mom. Multiple times. Did you think I wouldn't find out? We had to. She stood up, mascara already running. You're not capable of managing that kind of money. Look how you're behaving right now. Mrs. Henderson, Samuel interjected smoothly. I strongly advise you to stop speaking and contact your lawyer immediately. Get out of my house, Dad shouted, face purple. Both of you. Gladly. I turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Layla? You might want to start looking at smaller venues. The blank checks from my trust fund just bounced. You can't do this, Bryce jumped up. Mom, tell her she can't do this. Actually, Samuel smiled thinly. She not only can, but should have done it sooner. Good evening, everyone. We walked out to the sound of chaos erupting behind us. Layla's sobs, Mom's hysterics, Bryce's angry shouts, and Dad's stunned silence. In Samuel's car, I finally let out the breath I'd been holding. You did well, he said, pulling away from the curb. Very composed. My phone started blowing up with texts and calls. Block them all, Samuel advised. From here on out, they communicate through me. I did as he suggested, then sent one final text to Zella. It's done. She responded immediately. Finally, come over. Wine is ready. Want me to drop you at your friend's? Samuel asked. I looked back at my childhood home, growing smaller in the side mirror. The dining room lights were still blazing, shadows moving frantically behind the windows. Yes, I said. I think this calls for wine. The hard part starts tomorrow, he warned. They won't go down without a fight. I thought about the look on Mom's face when Samuel served the papers, about Bryce's charm failing him for once, about years of manipulation finally exposed. I'm ready, I said. And for the first time in my life, I truly was. The calls started at 6 a.m. First Mom, then Dad, then Bryce. I let them all go to voicemail, following Samuel's instructions. By noon, I had 37 missed calls and 63 text messages. Rosalie, please, Mum's latest voicemail sobbed. We're your family. How could you do this to us? I forwarded it to Samuel and continued working on my graphic design project. My phone buzzed again. Bryce this time. Hey sis, his voice oozed charm. Look, I get it, you're upset. But let's handle this like family. I've got this amazing new investment opportunity. We could be partners, 50-50 split. What do you say? Forward to Samuel. Delete. A knock at my apartment door made me freeze. I checked the peephole to see Layla standing there, mascara streaked down her face. I know you're in there, she pounded on the door. You're ruining everything. The venue won't hold our date without the full payment. I pressed record on my phone, documenting another harassment attempt. My lawyers will be in touch if you don't leave, I called through the door. You bitter, jealous bitch. She kicked the door. Is that what this is about? You're jealous of my perfect wedding? I heard my neighbor's door open. Everything okay out here? Should I call security? Layla's heels clicked away rapidly down the hallway. My phone rang. Samuel. Your brother just tried to access the trust account, he said without preamble. attempted to transfer $200,000. Let me guess, for his amazing investment opportunity? Exactly. But here's the interesting part. Papers rustled in the background. We found something while blocking the transfer. Multiple signatures, supposedly yours, on previous withdrawal forms. The forgeries we already knew about? No, these are different. And they're in your brother's handwriting, not your mother's. My stomach dropped. Bryce forged my signature too? Looks like both of them did. Multiple times, multiple accounts. Samuel's voice hardened. This just went from civil litigation to potential criminal charges. My phone buzzed with another text. Dad this time. Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is this what you wanted? To destroy our family? They're all trying to contact me, I told Samuel. Document everything, but don't respond. More typing sounds. We're meeting with the judge tomorrow morning. Emergency hearing about the trust management. After hanging up, I checked my email. A message from Mum to my work address. I've scheduled you an appointment with Dr. Marcus for Thursday. Your behavior clearly indicates another anxiety episode. Remember what happened in college? We're just trying to help you through this breakdown. I forwarded it to Samuel with the note. Now they're trying to claim I'm mentally unstable. His response came quickly. Standard tactic. Don't worry. We have your recent medical records showing perfect mental health. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Zella, carrying takeout and wine. Saw Layla's Instagram story, she said, pushing past me. She's calling you a trust fund stealing snake to her 10,000 followers. Lovely. Oh, and your brother's posted too. She pulled up his profile. Family is everything. Sad when money corrupts the ones you love. Pray for healing. I poured the wine. They're trying everything. Guilt, bribes, gaslighting, social media shame. But you're not backing down this time, Zella said firmly. No. I showed her the latest text from Mom. If your grandmother could see what you're doing to this family. My phone rang again. Samuel. Turn on Channel 7 News, he said quickly. I did. There was Bryce, standing outside his startup's office, giving an interview. Tragic situation. My sister has always struggled with financial responsibility. As a family, we've tried to protect her from herself. These allegations are just a cry for help. He's trying to control the narrative, Samuel said, but he just made a huge mistake. How? He admitted on camera that the family was controlling your trust against your wishes. Also, check your email. Someone anonymous just sent us years of private messages between your brother and parents, discussing how to handle your inheritance. I opened the email. There were hundreds of messages, dating back years. Plans, schemes, discussions of forged documents. Who sent this? The metadata suggests it came from your family's financial advisor's office computer. Samuel sounded pleased. Looks like not everyone agrees with their methods. Another text from Bryce. Last chance, sis. Drop this now, or everything comes out. Remember that incident from college? Mom kept it quiet then, but I forwarded it to Samuel. Now they're threatening me. His response was immediate. Perfect. Each threat makes our case stronger. Get some rest. Tomorrow morning, we show the judge everything. I looked at Zella. They really think they can still win this. She refilled my wine. Then they clearly don't know who they're dealing with anymore. The courtroom felt smaller than I expected. Mom sat rigidly in her designer suit, Dad beside her looking deflated. Bryce wasn't present, probably too busy doing damage control after his disastrous TV interview. All rise, the bailiff called out. Judge Martinez entered, her expression stern as she reviewed the documents before her. This is a hearing regarding the Eliana Henderson Trust, she began. I've reviewed the initial filings. Mrs. Henderson, you claim your daughter is mentally unfit to manage her trust? Mom's lawyer stood. Yes, Your Honor. We have documentation of a previous mental health episode from her college years. Objection, Samuel interrupted. Those sealed medical records were illegally obtained and show nothing more than typical freshman anxiety, fully resolved. We have current psychological evaluations confirming Ms. Henderson's complete mental competency. The judge nodded. Objection sustained. Now, about these signatures. She held up several documents. My supposed authorizations for withdrawals, dating back years. Your Honor, Mom's lawyer tried again. As trustees, my clients were acting in their daughter's best interest. By forging her signature? Judge Martinez raised an eyebrow. Please explain how committing fraud serves anyone's best interest. A soft gasp escaped Mom. Dad stared at his hands. We have evidence of systematic misappropriation, Samuel said, standing. Multiple forged signatures, unauthorized withdrawals, and most recently, an attempt to spend $400,000 of trust funds on their son's wedding without the beneficiary's knowledge or consent. That's not... Mom started to speak, but her lawyer shushed her. Furthermore, Samuel continued, we have documentation of threatening messages sent to my client when she discovered the fraud. He presented printed copies of the texts and emails, including attempts to use private medical information as blackmail. The judge's expression darkened as she reviewed the messages. Mrs. Henderson, are you aware that threatening to disclose private medical information for coercion is a criminal offense? Mom's perfectly maintained facade cracked. She's my daughter. Everything I did was to protect her. Your Honor, her lawyer interjected, my client acted within her rights as trustee. By funneling money to her son's failed business ventures? Samuel produced more documents. $600,000 transferred to various LLCs owned by Bryce Henderson, all without the beneficiary's knowledge or consent. He's an entrepreneur, Mom burst out. Those were investments. Investments of your daughter's money, Judge Martinez said coldly. Money specifically left to her by her grandmother. The bailiff approached with a sealed envelope. Your Honor, this just arrived from the original trust attorney's office. The judge opened it, reading carefully. Her eyebrows rose. This is interesting, she said. A letter from Eliana Henderson, to be opened only in the event of trust disputes. She began to read aloud. To whom it may concern. I leave this trust to my granddaughter Rosalie, knowing full well her parents' tendency to favor her brother's interests over hers. I have watched them diminish her for years while enabling her brother's reckless behavior. This money is for Rosalie alone. Any attempt by her parents to control or redirect these funds goes explicitly against my wishes. Mom's sob echoed through the courtroom. Dad finally looked up, his face ashen. Your Honor, Samuel stood again. Given the evidence of fraud and mismanagement, we request immediate removal of the current trustees and... A commotion at the back of the courtroom interrupted him. Bryce burst in, Layla trailing behind him. This is ridiculous, he shouted. You can't just... Silence! Judge Martinez's gavel cracked like a gunshot. One more word, and you'll be held in contempt. Bailiff, remove them. As Bryce was escorted out, I caught his expression. No longer charming, just ugly with rage. I've seen enough, the judge declared. I am ordering an immediate freeze of all trust assets. Mrs. Henderson and Mr. Henderson are hereby removed as trustees, effective immediately. Furthermore, I'm referring evidence of fraud to the district attorney's office for review. Your Honor, please, Mum's lawyer started. I'm not finished. Judge Martinez's voice could have frozen fire. Full accounting of all trust expenditures for the past 5 years will be conducted. Any misappropriated funds must be repaid with interest. Mr. Franklin, your client has full control of her trust from this moment forward. I felt tears sliding down my cheeks. 7 years of being controlled, diminished, gaslit. Over. "We're your parents," Mum whispered as I passed their table. "How could you do this to us?" I stopped, looking at her directly for the first time in weeks. "No, Mom, how could you do this to me?" Outside the courtroom, Samuel squeezed my shoulder. "It's not quite over. The criminal investigation—" "I know." I took a deep breath. "But at least now I'm free." My phone buzzed. Zella. "Well?" I typed back. "I won. I'm finally free." Her response was immediate. "Coming over with champagne. The real kind, not that cheap stuff your brother serves." I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. The hard part wasn't over, but for the first time, I could see the path forward clearly. The forensic accountant's report landed on Samuel's desk with a thud. 3 months had passed since the court hearing, and the full scope of my family's financial manipulation was finally clear. $847,000, Samuel said, flipping through the pages. "That's how much they diverted from your trust over 7 years." I stared at the number. "More than I thought. Your brother's ventures took the bulk of it." He pointed to a chart. 6 failed businesses, that ridiculous crypto scheme, and of course, the wedding venue deposit. My phone buzzed. Another email from Mom. "Please, sweetheart. Your father's blood pressure is through the roof. We can work this out as a family." Delete. "The judge's final ruling came in this morning," Samuel continued, pulling out another document. "Your parents have 30 days to begin monthly restitution payments or face property liens." "And Bryce?" "The DA is still reviewing the forgery evidence." He leaned back. "But his latest startup's investors pulled out after the story hit the local business journal. Something about questionable financial ethics." I checked my phone again. Bryce's LinkedIn profile had changed, no longer CEO, founder, but seeking new opportunities. "There's something else," Samuel said, pulling an envelope from his desk drawer. "This arrived from your grandmother's attorney today. Instructions were to deliver it after all legal proceedings concluded." My hands shook as I opened it. Grandma Eliana's familiar handwriting filled the page. "My dearest Rosalie, if you're reading this, you've finally stood up for yourself. I knew you would, eventually. You were always stronger than they let you believe. I watched them dim your light for years. Your mother's subtle cruelty, your father's weak enabling, your brother's entitled manipulation. Each time they dismissed your dreams or denied your potential, I saw the hurt they pretended not to notice. The money was never just about money. It was about giving you the freedom to become yourself. Use it wisely, but don't let fear guide you. You've lived with enough of their fear already. Remember, one day, all debts come due, even emotional ones. With love and pride, Grandma Eliana." A tear splashed onto the paper. I carefully folded it and put it in my bag. "The local paper wants to run a story," Samuel said gently, "about trust fund abuse and financial family trauma. They'd like to interview you." "No," I said firmly. "No media. It might help others in similar situations. Maybe someday. Not now." My phone lit up with a text from Zella. "OMG! Layla just posted. Wedding's officially cancelled." I checked Instagram. Layla's post was a masterpiece of passive-aggressive fury. Sometimes toxic people reveal themselves when you least expect it. Wedding postponed indefinitely. Sending back gifts, show a new chapter. "Your brother's fiancée is handling this well," Samuel said dryly. "She posted a TikTok last week calling me a trust fund terrorist." He snorted. "Creative." Another email from Mom popped up. "The country club is buzzing with gossip. How could you humiliate us like this? What will people think?" "They're still trying to make this about them," I said, showing Samuel the email. Classic, narcissistic response. He handed me a final document. "Here's the last piece. Your grandmother's attorney found it in her personal files. The original trust document includes a letter to your parents. I read it quickly, my eyes widening. She knew exactly what they'd try to do. In the event that Cassandra and Roland attempt to control, redirect, or otherwise manipulate these funds, Samuel read aloud, they will forfeit any future inheritance from my estate. Your grandmother was thorough. My phone buzzed again. Dad this time. Your mother hasn't left her room in days. I hope you're satisfied. I blocked his number. The last one I hadn't blocked yet. What happens now? I asked Samuel. Now? He smiled. Now you live your life. The money is yours, fully under your control. The restitution payments will come in monthly. Your parents and brother can't touch any of it. I stood up, gathering my things. Thank you. For everything. One more thing, he said as I reached the door. Your grandmother was right. You are stronger than they let you believe. Outside, the spring air felt clean and new. My phone had one last notification, a reminder about the lease ending on my cramped studio apartment. I opened my banking app, looking at the trust account balance. My money. My choice. My future. Time to go house hunting, I texted Zella. Her response was immediate. Beachfront? I smiled, thinking of Grandma Eliana's letter, about emotional debts coming due, about finally being free to become myself. Yes, I typed back. Beachfront sounds perfect. The ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and freedom through my new home office window. My graphic design business had tripled since I'd been able to invest in proper equipment and marketing. On my desk, next to my computer, sat Grandma Eliana's framed photo. My phone buzzed. A text from Samuel. Final restitution payment received. Trust is fully restored plus interest. Congratulations. I smiled, remembering his words from our last meeting. Justice isn't always satisfying, but it's necessary. The doorbell rang. Zella stood there with a bottle of champagne, grinning. Ready to celebrate? Come see this first. I led her to my office, pulling up my business website. Just landed 3 new major clients. Look at you, boss lady. She sprawled on my office couch. Speaking of business, did you see Bryce's LinkedIn update? I hadn't checked in months. Do I want to know? He's working as a junior sales rep at some software company. She smirked. Entry-level position. Karma's interesting that way. My phone buzzed again. An email from Mom's sister, Aunt Julia. Saw your new design work online. Brilliant stuff. Your grandmother would be proud. P.S. Your mother's still telling everyone you had a mental breakdown, but nobody's buying it anymore. Delete? Zella asked, watching me read it. No. I put the phone down. It doesn't hurt anymore. The sound of waves filled the comfortable silence. Then Zella sat up suddenly. Oh, almost forgot. Look what I found at that vintage store. She pulled something from her bag, an old photo album. Inside were pictures from my childhood. Before the manipulation started, before Bryce became the golden child. There was one of Grandma Eliana teaching me to paint, another of me proudly showing off a school art project. You were smiling in all of these, Zella observed. Really smiling. A notification popped up on my laptop. An email from a potential client. The subject line made me freeze. Wedding Design Services Inquiry. From Layla. You're kidding. Zella leaned in to read. She's getting married again already? I opened the email. I know this is awkward, but I've seen your recent work. It's exactly what I want for my wedding. Money's tighter now, thanks to you, but I'm willing to pay full price. Business is business, right? The audacity, Zella muttered. I hit reply. Thank you for your interest. Unfortunately, my schedule is fully booked. Best wishes for your special day. Classy. Zella nodded approvingly. My phone lit up with a text from Dad. Your mother's birthday dinner is next week. There's still time to make things right. I showed it to Zella. What do you think make things right means in dad speak? Probably, come grovel, while we pretend nothing happened. She poured the champagne. Delete. Already did. We moved to the beach-facing deck. The sunset painted the sky in shades of pink and gold. Remember what you said when we first found that email about Bryce's wedding? Zella asked. About being tired of playing small? Yeah. You're not small anymore. She gestured at the house, the ocean, my thriving business. You're exactly the size you're meant to be. My phone chimed with another email, this time from my newest client, a major tech company. Design proposal approved, contract attached. To Karma, Zella raised her glass, and to grandmothers who see the truth. To freedom, I added, and to finally using it. A gentle breeze lifted the papers on my deck table, sketches for new projects, invoices from happy clients, a thank you note from a small business owner whose brand I'd helped build. No more asking permission, no more playing small. You know what's funny? I said, watching the waves. They always said they were protecting me from failure, but they were really just protecting themselves from my success. Speaking of success, Zella pulled up something on her phone. Bryce's crypto venture officially filed for bankruptcy today. All investors lost everything. Let me guess, he's calling it a learning experience? Close. Strategic market exit. We laughed, and it felt clean. Light, the kind of laughter that heals. My laptop pinged with another new client inquiry. More work, more opportunities, more growth, all on my own terms. To think, Zella mused, all of this started because they wanted to spend your money on a wedding in Santorini. I looked at my grandmother's photo, at her knowing smile. No, I said quietly. It started long before that. It started the day she saw who I could become, even when no one else did. The sun dipped lower, painting everything in gold. Inside my office, contracts waited to be signed, clients waited to be amazed, and opportunities waited to be seized, all because I finally stood up and claimed what was mine. Not just the money, my power, my voice, my life. The waves crashed steadily against the shore, constant as truth, steady as justice, free as I finally was.